Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I have a review of the exquisite Caran D'ache Luminance colored pencils. I purchased this set about a year ago, a little over a year ago. I paid $186, I think, for it over at Merry Artist. It was, I actually have my receipt. The price was $219, but there was like a coupon off of one item, and I got this for, I believe, around $186, $189, which was a fantastic price. At the time I bought this, I think open stock, they were over $4 a piece, and the prices on Amazon and on Blick and other sellers were up over $200, probably around $219, but that coupon really made it affordable, or more affordable. It was something I'd had my eye on for a long time, and I decided to grab it. This was November of 2021, and I guess it was an early Christmas present to me. So yes, I personally purchased these. Then they came out with the 100 set after this, I believe, or at least all 100 colors in one box set, and that's quite a bit more per pencil to buy that set, and I think that had just come out, and that's why these had gone down in price. Now the 76 set, which I'm going to show you today, is $177 on Blick, and the open stock pencils are $346. But if you want the set of 100, that's going to set you back about $300. So you pay about $2.33 a piece in this 76 set. You would pay about $3 a piece in the 100 set, and then you would pay $346 today at Blick anyway, individually. They list for $4.80 per pencil. And you may be wondering, Lindsay, have you lost your mind? Why would you spend so much on pencils? What's so great about these pencils? The big claim to fame with these, I'm going to say, is light fastness. There are a few brands of colored pencils that boast light fast colors. These, Caran D'ache Luminance, the Derwent light fast pencils, the Polychromos, a lot of their colors are light fast. You still have to look through and double check. Same with a lot of the name brand pencils, you just have to look at the light fast ratings. One thing to note though is that many of the companies don't use the ASTM light fast rating. Caran D'ache does for the Luminance line, and Derwent does for the Derwent light fast line. I will say that honestly, I don't have a favorite between the Derwent Lightfast or the Caran D'ache Luminance. They both feel very similar to me, and I don't use these very much because they're kind of expensive, and I save them for things that I plan on hanging up. So that's why you don't see me using them too much in videos. I also know these are beyond the budget of a lot of people, and if you're just working in a sketchbook, you know, you don't really need your pencils to be light fast. You're not hanging them in light. That's basically it. And to be honest, I prefer, just for my own personal enjoyment, drawing with a softer pencil. So this pencil is a little bit harder. It's very pigmented, so it doesn't take pressure to put it down, but you just don't get that as soft of a creamy feeling as you would with, say, Prismacolor or Color Soft or ChromaFlow, which just have that kind of creamy lead that I personally really enjoy, mainly because I can work a lot faster with those softer leads. But let's take a look here. They come in a beautiful box. I think this is probably the nicest, safest packaging I've ever purchased colored pencils in. There is a thick chipboard box. Adhered to the top is like a craft foam, kind of that EVA foam type material, which is great because when you're working on a project, you can take your pencils out and set them in here, the pencils you're using, so you'll know what you're working. And if you look at the time lapse for this, or you watch this in Critique Club, you can see that I take the pencils out and I set them in here while I'm working to keep them separate, and it also protects them. Then you have 3 different trays. The trays have the foam, a cutaway foam insert, one for each pencil so they can't get banged around. And the bottom of the foam, the bottom of the tray also has that same foam from the lid. And they have the black interior, so you're not going to see like smudges from your pencils, which is kind of just a little extra thing. And there's also little ribbon pull tabs to help you remove each layer. So they're very well protected in here. I haven't changed the order intentionally of the colors, but I think I have probably moved a couple things around. This comes with 2 full stick blenders. I'm not sure if they're still making these. I don't use blending pencils all that much, so this will be a lifetime supply for me for sure. They used to sell a pack that was one of these full blenders. So this is all the core, like the blending pencil lead all in one solid stick. And then they'd have another one that was like a wood cased one. But I don't know if they make these anymore, or maybe they sell a combo pack. I can't remember, but I seem to think these might have been discontinued. But I've got two, and that'll last me a lifetime. They've got a really nice range of colors. They've got some cool grays, some warm grays, some pastels, surprisingly, which I was really pleased to see the pastels, because generally those are difficult to get in a lightfast formula. So if you're struggling to find lightfast pastels, you may consider picking up some of these open stock. Everyone's in love with the Holbein pastels, but I would question the light fastness of those, and I would definitely question the light fastness of any of the budget pencil pastel sets, which I love using in my sketchbook. They're fun, they're soft, they're creamy, they blend really well. But I would, if you're gonna have something you want to hang on the wall and not fade, you definitely want to find a more light fast version. And they do have some really light tones here. The brights are nice and clean. I find the range here, especially in your brighter colors and your lighter colors, to be a little bit more more saturated. How's that? Saturated. I would say cleaner, versus Derwent Lightfast has more muted tones, and then the Derwent Drawing are even more muted. So I really don't think you'd have a lot of overlap if you had all three sets and you wanted to use them together. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors, thick leads. You can see here the build of the pencil reminds me a lot of the Derwent Lightfast, where it's got the natural wood casing, and then you've got the ends that have the color, and then of course you can see the color on the tips. Generally I prefer a pencil that's fully colored, because I'll keep them in cups, but because this is such nice packaging, and I don't have any random leftover colors that aren't here, I'm just going to keep them right in the box. I'm not going to put them in a case, or I don't really like to use pencil cases myself. I find them cumbersome, but I'm not going to put them in cups because they lay out on my table just fine, and I haven't really felt like I was lacking any colors for any of the artwork that I've done with these so far. They're very slow wearing. They are a firmer lead, but because they're so pigmented, you don't have to press really hard to get color. So I don't think this would be a big problem for folks with arthritis or other strength issues. You're going to layer more with these than blend with them, I think. But you can blend the colors together. There's not really an issue with that. But these do definitely feel a little firmer than, say, like Prismacolor or Coloursoft. They actually feel quite a bit like the Derwent Lightfast. I thought the Derwent Lightfast were softer, but when I just swatched a couple side by side, I'm like, no, they're about the same. But since they're so pigmented, they don't feel very hard to my hand anyway. And I just really like the packaging that comes in. I have no desire to change them from something else. I find they have a nice range of earth tones. The color range is really nice. You're not going to find 500 colors in a Lightfast line anyway, just because they're not going to be able to formulate every single color. And because you can vary how much pigment you get down by how heavy or light you use a stroke or how many layers you use. I don't think you need so many intermediate ranges of pencils. If you want to pastel something, you can add some white or cream or one of the pastel colors over it to blend, and that works really well. So I don't think you're going to really be lacking from something in the 76 set. Now I'm not sure what the extra 100 colors are, because I haven't really felt like I needed to branch out to those to get those other colors. I bought these for my personal enjoyment and to do some tutorials with, but because of that I didn't do a full swatch. I don't really like swatching pencils, I gotta tell you guys. It does not bring me joy. But I'm going to show you a couple different drawings I did with these pencils, and you can decide if they might be right for you or not. Listen, there's a lot of reviews on this product, a lot of devoted fans. These are beautiful, high quality pencils. They're available open stock, so you could buy a couple and see what you think before investing in a set. In fact, I'd recommend that. Anytime you're going to spend hundreds of dollars on a set of pencils, I'd recommend buying a couple and seeing if you really like it. Heck, I did that before I even bought my Polychromos. I bought a few to see if I was going to like them before I invested in a full set. So that's always a good idea to do, in my opinion. So let's take a look at the artwork. This is one I just finished, and I really enjoyed working with these pencils. I did use a little bit of touch-up texture and titanium white to do those highlights, which in retrospect I think they're a little bit bright. And to be honest, I messed up the background, and I had to go in with pastel for the background. So that's why the background's looking a little janky there. That's pastel and not pencil. But I was able to layer a lot. This is the sand grain paper by Canson XL, so it does have quite a distinct pebbly texture to it. These worked great on that. I could layer a lot on there. And because it's a firmer pencil and more pigmented, I was able to do more layers than what I would get if I was using like a Prismacolor pencil. On this paper, actually, I really love using the Neocolor 1 crayons on, because it's got such a great surface for that. But I found these worked equally well on a really smooth paper like this This is the Strathmore Tone Tan drawing paper, and it's very smooth, and these pencils laid down really well, and in fact this sketch was really quick with these pencils on this smoother paper. So I think these will work well depending on whether you like a rough textured paper or you like a smoother paper. I think you really can't go wrong. They're expensive, yes they are. They've gotten cheaper in the 76 set. I've noticed that when companies come out with like those 100 sets, Derwent Lightfast did that recently, the 72 set just dropped in price and that became like the best deal. Let's see, I'm looking at Blick right now and I've noticed Blick has been matching Amazon's prices. So their set of 12 is $35.95. The set of 20 is $49.96. And they've got a set of 20 of assorted portrait in portrait colors. I'm wondering if maybe the portrait colors may be different than what I have in there. Maybe I could, I don't know if there's a set I could buy to bring that up to the full 100 range, because honestly, unless Blick does some crazy sale on these, I'm going to be content with the 76 that I have. Obviously, I don't use them that much because they're kind of precious. So I don't need to have a ton of backups for them because I'm only going to use them for stuff I'm going to hang up. And I'll probably use a mixed media like over watercolor. So I'm not going to go through them that quickly, and they wore really slowly. I maybe sharpened 3 colors doing this picture here, and I only did that because I needed to get a sharp line. So very slow wearing. I really feel like you get your money's worth with these pencils, which is nice. You know, it may cost 3 times as much as Prismacolor, but if it lasts you 3 times longer, then you know it's an equal value in my opinion. And if it's Lightfast, it's even a better value if that's what you're going for. A set of 40 is $93.33. So it seems like the sets are roughly about the same price. You're paying about the same per pencil, except for the 100 set when you're paying $300 for 100. They do have a wood box set of 80, which is $323. You're paying for the wood box there. But my recommendation would be, if you want to splurge, get the 76 set, because that's going to be your best per pencil price. And then, well, if you got the extra 84 colors open stock, let's see, 346 times 24. I guess you could decide whether you could do the math and see if it costs more to buy the 76 set and then get the rest open stock, or just get the 100 set if you wanted to. But you know, I don't feel like you're really going to feel like you're missing out if you get the 76 set. I'll buy a full set of the budget stuff because you really need those intermediate colors to get your good blends and get the color saturation, and they wear down quicker, so you do go through them. And it's usually not a lot of money to buy the big sets and the budget brands, but for the artist grade brands, you could really get by with a lot fewer pencils. I started off, like with my Derwent Lightfast, I started off with a set of 12, and I used them quite a bit, really liked them. They wore really slowly. I didn't have the full range of colors that I wanted because they were like, I think the first 12 they came out with maybe, and then I did upgrade when I saw a good price. These, I just decided to jump in. I talked to my my friend Lisa over at Lacquerie Fine Art. I'm like, what do you think? Is this a good price? Should I just jump for it? She's like, I would go for it. So I took her advice, and I did not regret it. But you don't need that many, you know, like when I did this picture here, I only used about 12 colors, maybe 14. I'd have to look back at my video to see, but I didn't have to use a lot. You have to use a lot more of the budget ones, I think, because you fill the tooth before you get to the color you want a lot easier. And with the more expensive pencils, you're getting more pigment and less filler, less wax, less binder. And so you're able to do lighter layers, put down less, and get to the color you need quicker. I hope that makes sense. I don't even know if that makes sense the way I'm explaining it. But like I said, I generally will use colored pencils in a mixed media fashion. That's 100% colored pencil. Well, a little bit of either gel pen or touch-up texture in titanium white. And this was mostly colored pencil until I messed up the background, and then I added in some pastel and the touch-up texture in titanium white. But yeah, I mean, I think when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, you're probably paying for whatever the amount of pigment the manufacturer uses, and then the quality of the pigment. And then if it's a budget brand, you probably got more dyes and, you know, less expensive colors. And plus, they're making it up in scale, so, you know, they can sell it for less, and because they're selling so many more of them. But I do feel like you're getting what you pay for with both the Caran D'ache Luminance and the Derwent Lightfast. They've both been really good in the 72 and 76 sets price-wise. And yeah, I like it. I know everybody else has already reviewed this, so you could find plenty of different opinions online. I say don't take my word for it. look at people's reviews that have used these more extensively, especially color pencil artists that do color pencil 100%. Rather than someone using it in a mixed media fashion. Look at artists that use the pencils the way you use your pencils and see what they think of them. Like I said, these feel a little harder to me than, they feel a lot harder to me than like Prismacolors. So you might not like the feeling of them. I don't like the feeling of these as much as I like the feeling of a really soft pencil, just the joy of coloring with them, the joy of just sketching. And if I was to add it over a watercolor painting, I wouldn't like the feel of these as much as like a Prismacolor. But the trade-off is, if I'm doing something I want to hang up, I want that light fast ability, so that's why I would use these, and that's why I save them for those instances. So, I mean, that's something else to consider too. What's, you know, like that visual, you know, that visceral feeling of coloring, of drawing. If you want that softer feeling, you might not like these because of that. But number one point to consider, doesn't need to be light fast. If your pencils need to be light fast, go for these. Go for Derwent Light Fast. Go for any brand that has a solid light fast rating, and or the colors that have those solid light fast ratings. Then after that, I would say, how does it feel to use? Do you have any strength issues? These are very pigmented. I didn't feel like I had to press hard, but they are harder pencils than say a Prismacolor, for instance. Just looking at my little sketch there. Oh, very little glare. There's some glare on the oranges here, but that's because I had to use some fixative, because after botching the background, I had to spray it with fixative and then go over it with pastels. But otherwise, not a lot of glare. Even on this, where I did use a heavy application on smooth paper, there's not a lot of glare there. So that's something also to consider if you like to reproduce your work. You're not going to have a lot of glare there. If you like to photograph it, to share it online, you're not going to be struggling with glare so much with these. Yeah, highly pigmented, great color payout, a little on the hard side, excellent packaging, very easy to draw with. I didn't struggle at all with the sketching. They were fun to draw with. They just don't give you that soft, creamy feeling, but they don't feel scratchy at all. They're just firm. They're just firmer. I hope that, I hope you find that helpful. Like I said, a lot of people have reviewed these pencils, so I just wanted to kind of keep it easy and breezy while I was just worked with them and had all these comments fresh in my mind. I'll probably be using these just for the things I want to hang, basically, because they're precious. They're my precious. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy reviews. Don't mind my nasty tea kettle burn on my arm. I know, it's so gross. But till next time, happy crafting.